Dun, 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 the Fin Fam.
I'm so not used to that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, what's number 2 on the list? It's kind of like a combo.
Yeah.
Kind of the combo. What's your least favorite cards and my favorite card?
Oh yeah, Layla Viking. Now I understand that it feeds into the strategy of water, which is go wide and then use Cagnazzo and
Nickel.
Yeah, Nickel and Cloud of Darkness to then wipe out their board. I think that Layla would be a lot more fair if Opus 4 Viking wasn't printed. It enters the playing field, draw a card, it dies, draw a card, bring it back, it draws a card, then it dies, draws a card. Like, you're just drawing so many. It's almost to the point where one of your buddies told me, the best strategy against water is just watch them mill themselves out. Like, I think that there's a case for it, but what it does is it just spreads them so wide so quickly.
I feel like Layla enables this kind of unfair play.
Yeah.
Now, granted, there's tons of ways to answer this card.
Oh,
this
yeah.
card is dead to a Dalalum in a heartbeat.
Oh, yeah.
Data looks at that dumb, stupid face that Layla has and just flicks it.
Yeah. Where's her nose at?
Where is her nose? She's like a Lego character.
Dalaluma ate it.
Dalaluma ate it for breakfast. That's what's on his fist.
Oh, is that what that is? It's the
nose.
Essence of
and
nose.
And he took Viking's nose too.
Oh, where did they all go?
Where are the noses? Tell us.
I think but you're also seeing a trend with a lot of my bands. Is when you look at water, there's very few times that I look at water and say to myself, I can play water without Layla Viking. Or should I play water without Layla Viking? Or should I play water and anything else without Layla Viking? Or should I just throw water in because Layla Viking? Which is I see a lot of decks do.
For a while, I was falling in love with the Fire Water 9 deck. It's a lot of fun, you're playing a lot of backups, you're getting value, you're searching a lot of cards. But there was some clunkiness. There's a lot of 3-ups, there's Beatrix, there's Steiner that's 5 cost, you're searching for stuff, you're drawing cards. But I always felt like I never got there. I'd have to build so much of a board, but I was dead before I could do what I wanted to do. And somebody was like, why don't you just play Layla Viking? And I'm like, well, why? Like, the deck's fine. And it's like, because it's free. I think that there's a lot of things that play against it. Yeah, it's small. Yeah, it's free. But did you pay for them?
No.
That's it. You didn't pay for them. And you're getting another card from Viking dying? We could ramble on and on.
Yeah. We have to ask the question, what would you rather have in your deck? Layla Viking or Dalaluma?
Layla Viking, every day. As much as I feel it's an unfair card, this is the devil's advocate. I love playing that card. To play 2 free forwards and then drawing a card and just being able to abuse the package feels great. But honestly, I think this comes from me being a blue player in Magic. I just like drawing cards. I just like to draw them. It doesn't matter if they're bad or not. I just want to have them.
All right, so let's go into your number 2.
So this is another card that I feel like for everyone that got to experience this meta in Opus 7, that was probably the most beautiful foil in your pre-release deck box that you'll always confuse with your friends because we all have the same deck box because of how sweet it was.
Yeah.
And that's 4-cost Fury. Just has a plethora of abilities.
Yeah.
Sure, so to give you a perception, 4 cost, 8K on curve, perfect. Light card, in your hand, light card. Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, tons of cards that search for that card.
And then a paragraph.
They put a Declaration of Independence under the text.
He is a planeswalker in Final Fantasy.
First of all, Yuri has all the elements except Dark. So that means any anthems, Maria, Lulu, Waka for water, lightning, they all give Yuri buffs.
Well, Maria would buff him anyway.
Yeah, all right. But I mean, like, Waka pumps it up just because it's water.
Yeah.
Lulu pumps it up.
Yep.
Very strong. 4 costs 9K with a buff. Very strong.
Yep.
Now, the paragraph. Do a total of 3 active backups of the same element or 2 active backups of the same element and Yuri. Select one of the 4 following. Draw 1 card. Choose 1 forward. Deal it 4,000 damage. Daluma.
Yeah.
Choose one forward. Dull it and freeze it.
Which is more likely what you're going to choose.
And choose one forward. It loses all abilities until the end of the turn.
Which is actually pretty broken.
It's pretty insane.
Yeah.
The card has so much flexibility as to what it did, and during the Opus 7 format, I was seeing people just put it. It was like peanut butter. You put that thing on everything.
It's like it was essentially the Veritas of its day.
I wouldn't put it at the Veritas portion, but this card has so many tutors for it, and it does everything. And the best part about it is that if you had 2 active backups and Yuri, you could just tap it on your turn instantly.
Yeah.
And you had so many options as to what you could do. It felt like when you played Yuri, and if you didn't answer it on the spot, the game is over. Mm-hmm. I've seen him single-handedly freeze people's boards with wind. When you're untapping everything to get multiple triggers.
Or just your wind characters.
Which is him. It just makes it absolutely insane. And making cards lose all abilities like Daluma, it'll get an initial trigger due to the fact that it's targeting Daluma, but it's just a 4-cost 8K then. After you get that initial trigger, it's just an 8K. So they can control the game. So it is like a Planeswalker. It just develops so much value for you. And even if you find a way of killing it, if you have 2 backups up and Yuri, you're replacing itself. Because you can just draw a card at the end of the turn.
And there's a lot of removal that targets active forwards. You essentially just use his ability to tap himself to make him not targetable.
Yeah.
So Lightning has a hard time with some of their, active target removal. They can't target Yuri.
Yeah, and the idea that it's light, even though you can never discard it from your hand, the idea that it's so flexible in so many elements, which may be a great thing in some decks, but it's always a card you have to think about. When we look back and when Square Enix has said, this card is not so great that it can be insurmountable. However, in order to prevent the tournament landscape from becoming too stagnant, when there's a card that is so flexible in every deck,
you can put it in any mono whatever.
It doesn't even have to be mono.
No, it doesn't.
You just need to have 2 backups of the same color.
Yeah.
It may not be the most optimal.
Remember the draft during the pre-release of this set? Like, everybody just jammed as many Yuris. It was like, whoever won had the most Yuris.
Yeah. And it was insane because this card single-handedly controls the game in draft and also in constructed in some scenarios. There are ways to answer it, but you have so many tutors like Alea and other searchers like that you can easily get it back.
Well, he's heroic, so you're going to see a ton of them in the box. So he was very prevalent in that draft format. So it made that draft format almost like, whoever gets the Yuris.
Yup, it's over, guys. Pack it up. But shouldn't have so many things that it can do that are out of color element. I shouldn't be an Earth deck and be able to dull freeze things.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think that the biggest thing for Yuri is the fact that he does have that cross color abilities. He wasn't just made for wind. He was kind of made to be available to any color. And with that, he brought every color's abilities with him. And I agree with you. You kind of want to isolate certain abilities like dulling and freezing, discard to an extent to certain elements. And I think for an entire different video, we can go into in depth what those abilities should be for certain colors, because I think that Square Enix has gotten a little carried away with certain abilities. But when it all comes down to it, Square Enix, don't print any more Planeswalkers. Leave that to the Hasbros.
and in all retrospective things, I want to be able, I was the guy playing 4-color decks just to do everything, and I think that it's very fair that there's a card that does all these things, but it shouldn't be able to do it when it enters the field at instant speed. That's the crazy part. If you put a tap symbol on that card, would have been way fair.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching, all you sweaty nerds.
if you want to stay moist like us, please like, subscribe, and share with all your sweaty friends. And hope you enjoyed the video.
Till next time, and remember, use deodorant when drafting.
Always.